You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Bachelorette After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Bachelorette After Show.
Okay, we went with that.
What's happening?
We were expecting ole, ole, ole.
It's a little different.
Are robots coming?
All I have to say, this is an epic sode of AFTERBUZZ.
An episode inside an episode.
Yes, dream the dream. We all know that Bing is for doing it, and we are here doing another after show on AFTERBUZZ TV. I'm JC, and this is The Bachelorette, Season 9, Episode 6. And before we go any further, let us introduce our wonderful host, starting with the big, smiley, lovely host to my left.
I'm not smiling. I'm Cathy Kelley.
And next to Cathy.
Hey guys, what's up, Krisily?
And of course, right in the ones and twos, the lovely Stephen Lemieux. What's going on, Stephen?
Oh, thanks, JC.
Okay.
The lovely Stephen Lemieux.
Hey, I'm feeling
That was
love.
well done, actually. That was well done.
Thank you. Well, you know what? I saved the best for last because, ladies and gentlemen, AFTERBUZZ Nation, we have a Bachelor alum with Inception music going on. He's the alum of Diana season, of Bachelor Pad 2, and he is here tonight. The music's making me talk.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. This has never happened before. I'm enjoying it. Continue.
AFTERBUZZ TV
It's like
Nation.
building up anticipation.
Put your hands together for the one, the only, Graham Bunn.
Yeah. So glad to be here.
Are you clapping for yourself?
Yes, of course. I need all the help I can get. I'm actually glad he didn't cut the music right when you said that, and it was just like cricket music. That would have been really bad, but he kept it going. Now I kind of feel like a badass. So.
I know this. Wow, I'm really feeling the energy with this episode. Okay, Steven, we got to stop the music.
It feels like there's a lot of suspense.
Yes, and there was tonight because we had James versus Drew, James versus the house, James just versus the world.
James versus himself.
And himself.
True. I think he's
That
struggling.
was an internal struggle there.
Yes, and the emergence of Drew, who we've been talking about for the last few weeks. And will Zach ever put clothes on? Good Lord.
He's more shirtless, or seen more time shirtless than Sean Lowe was on his entire season.
I don't know. We'll have to check stats. Steven, check that out for us.
That's a bold statement.
I know.
I know
It is.
Sean, and he's never with a shirt on in real life. I'm like, dude, hey.
He's watching this right now shirtless.
Yeah. I talked to him earlier, and he was like, I was like, what are you doing? He was like, I was just hanging out, looking for a shirt. Oh, cool. All right.
Well, maybe he could use a shirt from 46 NYC.
Maybe he could.
Yeah.
He's got several. He has Instagram several pictures. I have to give him all the love in the world. He's very supportive and a good friend of mine. So
Absolutely, and we will be talking about that a little bit later, about the great things you've done outside of Bachelor and the Bachelor world as well.
I appreciate it.
But before we actually go any further, I do want to just take a melancholy hello to everyone in Arizona because of the horrible tragedy with the firefighters out in I believe it was at Prescott. And just, you know, we like to entertain you guys for a few minutes, but let us not forget these wonderful heroes we lost. So AFTERBUZZ TV Nation, we just hold you in our thoughts and thank you for your service, guys. With
Well
that
said.
said,
Well said.
thanks, guys. General impressions about tonight. I mean, we had a lot going on. You're waiting to go, Cathy. What'd you think of tonight?
Barcelona's gorgeous. I want to go. That's what I got out of tonight. I mean, I was surprised at how many guys got sent home, and I don't know.
She cut 40% of the guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we thought
That was intense. I thought, I mean, I don't know. I knew that she was going to pull something weird, but I didn't think that it was going to be that.
Yeah. Okay, now for the Bachelor alums. Okay, so any changes? General impression, Krisily, of tonight's episode.
Train wreck? is the first thing that comes to mind
Really?
when I think of, well, not the whole episode, but the whole James situation. But I was pleasantly surprised by one of the guys tonight, which I didn't expect. So.
Oh yeah, me too.
You both are, the brunette bandits,
Nice.
bandits are teasing us already. So. Now,
Does yours rhyme with shrew?
No.
Oh, who?
I'm not telling you yet. We're not there yet.
Okay.
a tease within a tease, kind of
Yeah,
like.
never give it up this early. Never this early.
Okay.
So, Graham, now overall impressions, what'd you think? You know, I mean, you've been in this, you've seen all. I mean, while we were watching it, you were just like, oh my gosh, it's probably 4 in the morning. They're tired. I mean, just all this.
Well, first and foremost, I would like to apologize to Deanna Pappas because there's 8 guys left and they're in Barcelona. When there was 8 guys left when I was on the show, she was like in our backyard in Los Angeles being like, okay, well, when are we traveling? And we did not travel for another couple of weeks. So, yeah, Barcelona was amazing. And, you know, just in life, when you get to see things like that and go after a girl as amazing as Desiree, I mean, I don't know what you can complain about.
So it's funny that you said that it's changed, I guess, bigger budget perhaps, but in turn, doesn't that also ignite more of the emotions? The more, because you're at these exotic locations.
Oh,
when you
yeah.
go, you know, they're really pushing the romance. Like Cathy, you were talking about, I want to go to Barcelona.
Yeah.
The romance, the scenarios, doesn't that just amp everything up?
I mean, Des said that now that they're in Barcelona, she's feeling more emotional. So yeah.
And because she probably hasn't slept in 3 months.
Good detective work there. Good detective work there.
It's like, I think people forget that. Just imagine you on your most tired day, how emotional you are, and how sometimes you may get a little, like I get real cranky.
Me on a Monday.
It's like these guys and her, they haven't slept. They're shooting for hours and hours and hours, and it's dwindling down. So the guys that are there's a couple that she's probably really serious about, and so she's tired now. So of course her emotions and the guys' emotions are a lot higher.
So wouldn't you say the very first date with Drew, didn't he handle it well? Isn't he ready for this moment? I mean, he came. We've been talking about him for a few weeks. Where's that one guy? Confused him. He looked like Robert a little bit, and now he's here.
Yeah.
And he pretty much knocked it out of the park.
And then he tripped and fell crossing home plate. He touched home plate, but he tripped and fell on his face crossing home plate. Wherever you are, dude, you're the man as of tonight, but you made a major mistake at the end of that date.
All right, so what did we think of the date before we get into the bomb he dropped on poor Des? Did you see a connection? Do you see them? Is he in it for the right reasons?
I mean, his story really resonated with me because it's very similar to my own. Like, the first memory that I have of my dad is picking up a coin and saying, you know, what's this for, Dad? And it's, Dad didn't drink wine in 6 months. So, I mean, that's just, it just shows that he has a lot of character behind him. He has a story, and I think that he is a genuine person. So, I don't know. I think, yeah, there was a little bit of a disconnect with his date. He probably shouldn't have mentioned other guys. Well, it was very romantic, and he had her in an alley and everything else, but...
Yeah, no, and the fact that, I think, was it Graham or Krisily brought up the fact that he waited to drop this bomb when he got the rose?
Yeah, I think what he shared tonight, and I hate to call it, I hate that sometimes we say, oh, sob stories, because, yeah, sometimes they are, but everyone has a story, but this story is so hard to tell because it's not just about you. You're sharing somebody else's secret that, while it affects and molds who you are, it's someone else's secret to tell. And so that was a really bold statement, and I feel like watching that was amazing, and seeing how she reacted and knowing what kind of life he probably had up to the point that his dad was sober and what kind of man he's become has to say something about him to her. And their date was amazing. Like when he walked up and he was like, I just have to get this out of the way, and kissed her. Like, who doesn't want that to happen?
Yeah.
Like, their date was amazing. And then he got the rose, and then he decided to be an idiot.
Was he trying to be Ari 2.0?
It was just weird.
How so?
In the alley, pressing her up against the wall.
No, that's just not their move. That people do that.
Well, yes, he
People
would do
do that,
that.
yeah.
But I think that he's seen the show before, and I think that
he was just trying to get away from the cameras, which we were both kind of laughing because you can't ever get away from the cameras. It was a good try.
Do you think that he actually tried to get away from the cameras, or?
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, I think it was a grand gesture, and he was like, I'm gonna get credit for both of these.
Yeah.
The push up against the wall and try and get away from the cameras.
Because you saw the camera person have to physically take the camera off the tripod and run.
It seemed like he was planning that, though.
He may have
yeah,
been.
of course. It was definitely, I think he was like, this is something I want to do. But I still give him credit by saying, look, let's just have at least one moment together, you know.
But they didn't.
Yeah. No, but I think it was genuine in his attempt.
Okay.
And remember, we have not seen all of their interaction, I'm sure, because he didn't just come out of left field. I mean, we just didn't. Kind of like Catherine last season with Sean. You know, she came like midway through the season as well. So could he be
He's
kind of
definitely
Catherine?
a front runner. I definitely see him as a front runner. Did anyone notice that there were roses on the tablecloth? Or is that just me?
No,
didn't
it
notice
wasn't
that
on
either.
like a plate.
No, it was on the tablecloth. Like, it was a floral tablecloth, but there was very prominent roses on it. I just thought that was
As you will
kinda funny.
notice, Cathy is quite observant. Yeah. She notices the little things. So, like I forgot to say, actually, chat roll, hello. And if you're not watching us live on AfterBuzzTV.com, make sure to tune in on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, OneCast. Let us know who you think's going to get that final rose, or what you like about the show. And, of course, it keeps the lights on. And check out our site.
Check out our new site. We have a new website, completely redesigned, got a facelift, and the chat roll right now is talking about the apocalyptic music that we played at the beginning of the show. So,
Well, because we're saving James for a little bit later, because that was big.
yeah.
All right, so anything else that we got out of Drew? I mean, he just came out of nowhere. I just want to know more about the guy. We saw that he was genuine, like Chris. Is there a light side to Drew? Like a goofy side, let's say with like Zach, and to see all those elements. Because Des is kind of like she seems very goofy, very,
I don't think we've seen it yet.
No.
I mean, I don't think that he's as big of a goofball as the other guys, but I think that it's still there.
Okay, because I think she needs that balance. She needs a little bit of everything.
Well, I think that he's definitely not like anyone else there. Like, I think she can get some of the personality from several of the guys that she likes, and I think he is totally different from anyone from what I've seen. So I think that intrigues her a lot, and then we'll see. And again, I thought you couldn't have handled the date much better than he did until he made the decision to make it about someone else while he was with her. I thought that was terrible. But
After he got the rose.
yeah,
I think
I mean, it was a safe play because he was like, "Oh, I'm good now." So now I'm going to throw someone else on the bus. But I would never want to ruin like that amazing date and then have it end like, "Okay, cool, I'm gonna put you in a spot where you have to think about another guy while I'm right in front of you." I just thought that was terrible.
Do you think that it would have come back to bite him in the butt, though, if he hadn't told her and Des would have seen that he knew about this the entire time?
100%, but there's a way to handle that. I would have waited until it was like, we are leaving, like we're leaving, and then say, listen, this was about us tonight. There's some things going on in the house that when we're in a group setting, 1,000,000% you and I can talk to, and you may need to talk to somebody. But I'm not wasting 1 second of my time with you talking about another guy. There's just no way I would do that. I mean, I would never, especially if you're into the girl like that. I remember having issues on my dates because I was like, listen, I'm not talking about anybody else besides you and I.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, if you need investigation, you go to the source. You know, I know you don't get to see everything, but I'm not a reporter on other person's feelings. You and I are all that matters. So I was let down because he's obviously a very cool dude, and I just thought that was horrible.
And I've heard with the winners, whoever comes out usually engaged, the couple has spent less than 48 hours of combined time together. at
Jason
that point.
Mesnick and Molly Mesnick.
Yep, that's where I'm getting it from.
Yeah, they've come out and talked about that they spent. I thought they said they'd only spent less than a day together throughout their season.
Well, it doesn't take much if you really love somebody. It doesn't take much.
No.
Yeah.
Did they not have a fantasy suite date?
I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
Because I think my fantasy
I thought they
suite
said they
date
got
went
about
till the next
47,
morning.
48 hours together.
Respect.
Yeah.
But the fantasy suite, that's the whole thing. So you spend the night in someone's hotel room, so that's more than a couple hours.
That 48 hours is a little misleading. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a
And
stretch
it's a
40. That's a
little-
baker's
Jason and
dozen.
Molly
That's a
actually had-
baker's dozen
I was
right
like,
there.
I don't know
They
about
had
that.
2 overnights because if you remember,
Yes.
Molly got to go over, hang out at Jason's house, and they had a little tent in the backyard where she slept over, and all the girls were mad at her the next morning.
And now the 48
for
hours
her.
is null and void.
And now we just disproved all of that. Water all over your fire.
Yes, there we
Sorry.
go.
Well, it could have been 12 hours because they start the date late in the night for dinner, and then they go to the next morning. But that's still, 6 to 6.
I'm with Krisily. That has been disproved. Well, that's out. That's out.
Sorry.
Liars! You lied to us.
Wow.
Sorry.
We're barely starting and already sparks are flying. Let's move on to the group date. Let us move on to what I thought would be Juan Pablo's shiny moment, and it wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
We had Brooks, Chris, Casey. Brooks, Chris, Casey, Mike G, James, and Juan Pablo on this date. And they got trounced by the girls, of course.
I was hoping Fernando Torres would show up.
Fernando Torres?
Yes.
Is
Who
he
is
your
that?
favorite soccer player?
Soccer player. Used to play for Madrid. Yeah.
Oh, give us a soccer lesson. Oh, she knows her soccer.
I don't have a soccer lesson. I just used to have his jersey. I liked him. He was great.
He was
Now,
cute.
is he a good
cute.
player or he's really hot?
Yeah.
He's really
It's
hot.
one of the two.
I mean, he's a
Okay.
good player as well.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so why don't you lead us into the soccer lessons then, Cathy?
It's actually called football,
Football.
Yeah.
and that is where my knowledge stops.
Okay. So
That's a good place to start.
a nice parallel with you and most of the guys except for Juan Pablo, because it seemed like James didn't even want to touch the ball. Like they
He
were.
was scared of it.
He's a little girl.
Yeah.
He did not do well tonight. He did
No.
not do well.
It wasn't his episode. No,
It was not.
6'2",
It was not.
260, and afraid of the soccer balls flying in his face.
He was. I mean, and he didn't even attempt to try to like put his hands out. He just watched them and then clapped.
Yeah,
He
He
did.
didn't want
Yeah.
to mess up the face.
It was pretty bad.
Well, so basically, that part of the show was filler.
Yeah.
Let's get to the important stuff, like the nighttime when Des and Chris.
The fact that she wrote something for him just shows that she's thinking about him when they aren't together. I mean, that takes a lot. I felt like that was a huge gesture.
Did you guys see any? I mean, do you see?
Oh, huge.
No, yeah. I mean, that, like she said, I watching it, I was just like, well, that takes a lot of effort. I mean, there's a lot of guys there. She's obviously not doing that for every single person that's there. So, I mean, and like Krisily pointed out, they don't have a lot of downtime. So she took her time that she had and she focused on that guy. So, I mean, good for him. He's in a good spot.
They've really built a connection with, I mean, he wrote something for her last week or a couple weeks ago, and I don't know, I
He's
really
done
see something between them.
He's done a couple poems now, right? I feel like a couple poems, and they do have such a connection. And she brought him to her room.
Yeah.
She was like, "Come to my bedroom. Come see my bedroom." And I was like, "Hello."
That's never a bad sign if a
The
girl likes you. That's
couple
never a bad
rhymes
sign.
together.
Bad.
Des always has initiative. I will give her that. You know, if she likes a guy, she'll give him a kiss. She'll grab him by the neck, like you said many times.
You know, it's funny. I was thinking that tonight. Obviously, in every season of The Bachelorette, whoever is the Bachelorette kind of takes the more masculine role during the show because she's the one who's making the choices. But within that, I think Des has done that the most when she's with the guys one-on-one. She's kind of been, she takes the lead and doesn't wait for them to make their moves and doesn't wait for them to say anything. And I don't remember seeing that with any other Bachelorette.
That's a great move. I mean, she's
Yeah.
maximizing her time. Because at the same time, we have all this, you know, the one-on-one time, but at the same time, the guys, this is where we first see the real big gang up against James on tonight's episode. Because this has been going on for 2 episodes now. And would you say it's right? I mean, Michael G always seems to lead the charge. Last week it was against Ben, and now the new guy, it's James. I mean, where do you guys side with that? Was James telling the truth? I mean, because I read something on Reality TV World, and he actually said that Drew fabricated this story.
I heard that too.
Yes.
I don't know if I believe him.
Yeah, he didn't really validate that it was fabricated tonight on television. But
Okay.
if that's his statement, then I mean, I would love to read it. But it didn't seem like he felt like it was fabricated. I felt like he thought it was misconstrued, but he definitely said that.
One of the things that I loved, Ashley Spivey tweeted tonight and said, if you have been on the show and you didn't think about being the next Bachelor or Bachelorette, you lie.
I love Spivey. Spivey is hilarious.
I mean, it's true. I feel like anyone who goes on the show thinks that, you know, what if I do make it to the top 3 or 4 and then become the next Bachelor or Bachelorette? What if I do get engaged to this person? What if I get dumped by this person? It's a natural thing to do.
So did James do a bad thing he was being real? He was.
No,
It's just
he
the
did a
way that
bad
he goes
thing.
about it, yeah.
He did a bad
Okay.
thing. You can have those thoughts, and I'm sure, again, like he kept pointing out about reality, and that's fine. Some people self-medicate, or like he said, protecting himself. Oh, what if she doesn't pick me? Okay, well, maybe this will happen. You do not say that. I'm sorry. You do not say that.
Especially not to the other guys in the house.
Yeah, and then anything that could ever get back to air that might hurt the girl that you're there for, like you can't risk hurting other people's feelings if you really care about them. So and he messed up there.
You know, and you brought up a great point, Graham, while we're watching this, that you thought she was dead set that she was going to send him home off that first interaction.
Yeah,
And
no, for sure.
She had that look on her face, and And it's funny that you brought that up because in that same reality TV World article, I think it was James T. or Mikey that had brought up the fact that when Desiree decides on something, she sticks to it. When her mind is made up, done deal.
I just didn't think that James and her were going to progress outside of the show, so I don't think it was that difficult for her to
So why was
have
she
these
crying?
major talks
No,
with him.
I feel like there was something that she really liked about him.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
she was super emotional both times, crying, and you could tell that she was really, really torn about it. Which
I think
I'm
it was
blown away
because
by.
she was so stressed, and to have a guy there that you think isn't there for you, that's really difficult.
And remember, her big caveat is if you cheat on her, she's done.
And
she's mentioned that before.
Bryden just left last week, which was, she didn't show it, but very emotional and stressful on her.
I feel like she was more emotional with James.
Yeah,
than
she
with
was more
Bryden.
emotional because these guys are dropping like flies, and maybe the one guy that you are in love with at this point, what if he turns out to be just there to become the next Bachelor? You have no idea. So I think that's what she was crying over.
Was she in love or falling in love with the person or the situation? Remember, we talked about Barcelona, the Jersey Shore date. I mean, the East Coast date they had a few weeks ago. All those situations.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that she was falling in love with James. I think there was something about him that she really liked because of the Sandy
Sandy Hook?
because of
Sorry.
of Jersey Shore date.
Yeah, Hurricane Sandy.
And yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And so I feel like there was some sort of connection because if she did feel that it was just stress, then I think she would have sent him home the first time or the second time, not waited all the way to the end of the night.
She was definitely further along in the
Yeah.
process with him than some of the other guys there. So I think that obviously added to the distraction.
Yeah.
As I watched it, though, all I could think about was how mad Justin Rigo must be right now. he's like, damn it! This is how you do this. This is how you do this. And then Allie's probably tweeting, "What is the thought process here? Just watch him walk away. Like that's how you do it. You watch them walk away in shame, and then that's how it's done."
Yep.
And this was only the beginning. We'll come back a little bit later because
Yeah.
James, I wrote on my notepad, he never leaves.
It was like the
It does
Energizer
not
Bunny
get
tonight.
let go.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of Emily's season. Gosh, the football player from Georgia. I've lost his name.
Oh, muscles.
Yes.
And she tweeted about it tonight.
Oh, did she really?
Yeah, remember we saw the tweet. Emily saw the tweet. She said he had a twin and he was on my season.
Gosh, what's his?
Oh yeah, she didn't say his name though.
No.
I don't know his name.
I don't
Emily's
remember.
What's his
great.
name?
I can't remember his name. I'm
Football
blanking.
player.
Yes. Chat roll if you know. Let us know. But
The worst.
Yes, but changing the drama which Desiree needed, we get Zach. The positive beam of
yeah.
light
Zach
that is
W.
Zach. Yes.
Good for him.
Did anyone else notice? I've never noticed this the entire season, but his title is Drilling Fluid Engineer.
No, I did not notice that.
That's great. How'd he pull that one off?
That
That's
is amazing.
great.
And we know that he's in the oil business, but that caption is hilarious.
The producers are geniuses.
Yes.
They are geniuses.
And it took us 6 weeks to figure that one out.
I mean, I don't know if they showed it before this episode. They might have changed the title a couple times, but
Yeah, he came in and said, "I'm an oil engineer," and they're like, "Cool, you're getting drilling fluid expert."
Yeah.
It's a family show, Graham.
Yeah.
Lord. No. But, okay, but what great contrast. He was exactly what she needed. You know, we've always thought he's a little, I don't want to say out there, he's just gregarious. He's a big
He's
person.
naked guy.
Okay, thanks.
I love that
actually,
guy.
I remember the first week when we were looking at all the bios of the guys, and he was the one guy that was talking about modern art, and he was talking about like Mondrian and all these like different artists, which I thought was, I mean, for someone who's shirtless all the time,
Would
kind
have
of deep.
never thought. He was my pleasant surprise tonight because I've been on his case since the first episode. He's naked guy. He always has his shirt off. He looks like orange. Like I've been on his case, and he still looks orange. But he was so great tonight.
Yeah, he's
and
the man.
He came in and fixed it. Like she was kind of having a not so fun time, and he just made it fun and silly and goofy, and she needed that.
Yeah, he's the man. That could have gone one of two ways, and he made it go the way it needed to go, and good for him. Because it worked out for another guy named JP. So
Yeah.
the same situation, and he's a good buddy of mine, and it worked out real well for him.
Do you see possibly having the same fortune for Zach?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
Thank you.
But I will say that guy is the man. I mean, he made the most of his situation. He's obviously a very cool dude, and you know, I don't see it with them much longer. But then again, you know, I'm not the king of relationships, but he did a good job tonight. He did himself a
Do
good
you
service.
think if they bring back Bachelor Pad next summer that he will be a contender?
Yes, for sure.
Absolutely.
For
He
sure.
would be
There's a few
great.
people in this season that'll be on it probably if they
else?
bring it
Yeah.
back. I would imagine James is a lock.
Yeah.
They're going to have James in there. And then
Ben?
they'll bring a couple guys from the season because they know James hates everybody from
Yep.
them. So that's automatic. That's automatic. Like, oh well, who's in your your group, and James is going to be the outcast, so he's going to collide with everybody else. For sure there'll be 3 or 4 people from this season if they do it.
Like pair him up with Tiara, and they'll just have a field day with the whole Bachelor Pad crew. Can you imagine next season?
Do you think they're going to bring that back though?
I think they may.
Stop calling her that. That's really rude.
Oh no! Please
Are
stop
they gonna
yourself.
bring that back?
Stop yourself. I'm referring to the show.
Yeah.
Referring to the show.
The brunette bandits have struck again.
Yeah,
See?
I don't even know the girl that we're talking about. So if you get offended by that, I apologize.
We'll tell you off camera. No,
All right.
she's full of sparkle. All right, so with that said, I mean, anything else like the the date made out again?
Producers, you couldn't get Zach naked on the date, so you bring in a naked model.
William Holman just texted me Ryan Bowers. That's all he texts.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
William Holman. And actually, if they do Bachelor Pad again, William needs to be on it. That guy's
my
the man.
gosh.
Yeah.
He's so freaking funny.
I love that kid, man.
See, you just
So
gave us so many. Ryan, William.
Oh yeah.
We've talked about on so many episodes people that were, misrepresented on their season, and everyone always says that he's one of the people that was misrepresented on Ashley's season. So
Who, William?
yeah,
Man, he's
that
the
he's
nicest.
actually really funny. And
He's the
not as
nicest.
socially
He's one of my
awkward as
closest
they make him
friends
out
in
to be.
life, and definitely one of my closest friends from the show. He's the man.
So now I have to ask the question. So is James a victim of this?
No. No, I'm not. Hey, I'm not saying James is a bad guy. I'm not, and I'm not saying you can't have thoughts of like, okay, what if the girl doesn't pick me? Because I think it's a little unfair. You go on the show,
Yeah.
and the girl, just because they cast the girl, it's still a two-way street. It's still a relationship thing, and you still have to make sure at the end of the day that your heart is in a place where you can recover and everything. So maybe he does have these thoughts, and maybe that's a safety net for him. But you do not say that on air. You do not risk hurting the girl's feelings. You do not risk having other guys make you look like someone that you're not. He put himself in a position where he allowed some words or something to be misconstrued, and you just can't do. He made a mistake. It was a mistake, and that's
He's very good at talking his way out of situations. I
He's
think
like
he's
a
a
used
very
salesman.
good talker. Yeah.
Well, that's also alarming because you feel like, well, maybe he's had that conversation before.
And we talked about while watching that, and the fact that it was Krisily that brought up the fact he's the only man in a dress shirt when the guys
Yeah.
are hanging out by the couch. She's like, oh, he's going home, but he didn't again. I love Ryan Bowers. Ryan Bowers was, he was just very. Thank you.
Ryan Bowers.
Let's say Ryan Bowers one more time.
Thank
Ryan
you,
Bowers.
William.
Yeah.
William, yes, that William is great.
He got it before chat rule did. That's impressive.
Yeah.
I hope he's listening.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
So, any other thoughts with like Zach? Because I don't want to just cast his date aside as well, because they had that date in the cave, and there was a lot of making out as well. And I know you guys said that the body language wasn't there, but I saw one kiss where she grabbed his neck, because that's Desiree's thing. She grabs the guy from the back of the neck, and that's like her
Reels
thing.
him in.
Yes.
My feeling with Zach is that I think he's fun. I think that she thinks he's cute and he's fun to have around, so she'll keep him around, but I don't necessarily see longevity with them.
Okay.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. And again, I don't think that I'm sure she's attracted to him. And in that moment in time, after dealing with everything she dealt with the night before, then she had a really fun day. It's easy to get caught in the moment and to revert back to what she's comfortable and kissing someone the way she does or feeling very attracted to someone in that moment. But just like you said with the extravagant dates and everything, sometimes the setting dictates your action a little bit more than normal. Like on my date, because they ask you 100 million questions. What's your dream date, and how do you, and they dictate dates to you to make you feel comfortable and to allow you to be yourself because you're in a setting that you've always thought about. My dream date, and they always used to make fun of me, was on a beach. I was like, man, put me on a beach with a campfire and the girl, and we'll talk it out. We'll have some wine. We'll see how it goes, because you can replicate that in real life. I'm not flying anyone to Barcelona 2 weeks after meeting them. I'm sorry. Deanna, she's the best,
understand.
but I will take a girl to the beach, a bonfire, and then we'll share some wine and figure some things out. But when you're in that setting, you know, it's easy to get caught up in that.
Yeah.
So you never had like a story on your season where you were put in that position with, you know, like the 3 a.m. shoot, the 4 a.m. shoot, and just things just kind of happen. You know, I mean, you're tired and emotions are high.
Oh, that was every night.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yeah, that was every night for sure. No, definitely. But with D, and I was lucky. Like I still think the world of my bachelorette, and like I couldn't be happier for her. Her husband is the man. I went to the wedding, but was a special girl. So I never let the show be bigger than, okay, what's best for her and what's best for me. And you know, my exit from the show was a little bit weird in that we had to figure out a way to do it and make sure that her feelings came first. But you know, when she's there with Zach, I feel like she just got caught up in the moment. This is a great guy. He cares about me. He's trying to make it fun. And then she let that moment dictate her reactions.
Okay.
I just don't see it moving further than that.
And I think everyone, past bachelors and bachelorettes, have always said that they kind of know their top 2 from the first night, and that they want to keep around the people that are the most easygoing. And clearly, Zach is fun to be around.
Yeah.
He makes light of every situation, and she wants to keep someone there who she knows she can trust.
Agreed.
So.
And he looks good without a shirt on.
Yeah. Yeah. Dee said she knew her her top 2 on the first night. So I mean, I think that's.
Des said that?
Deanna, yeah.
Confusing with the D's.
Des, I'm sure, won't say anything for about 2 years. How long is the contract?
Yeah, it's about
2
a year
years.
and a
So
half.
in about a year and a half, you'll see.
She's
She'll
already
come out.
given
Listen,
away
these
a
are
lot
the 3.
on Kimmel.
Yeah.
Yes,
She has
on
no
Kimmel.
poker face. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we'll wait to see. So, any final thoughts? So do we go James round 3, where the rose ceremony?
Well, he talks to Drew first, I think.
Oh yeah, and okay. Thank you for bringing that up, because I thought
That's a great point.
We've seen previews for the season, and there were some fists thrown or like someone choking someone out, and I thought it was this moment between James and Drew. There was a moment this season.
Creative editing.
No, they did show.
They said Brooks got hurt at one point, but I feel like that's from his finger.
It was. But there was a commercial early on that showed, it almost looked like James or Mike that got sent home last week was choking Brooks.
It was like a lunge.
But it would have been 2 episodes ago, and we never saw it. So they never ended up editing it. They just used it for a piece. It did look like, hands were out to a neck, but we never saw it.
I don't think we're ever going to see that footage.
No, me neither.
Doesn't make the blooper reel.
No.
Well said. So, so I guess we should just move on to the rose ceremony. Any surprises with Casey not getting a rose and Cathy's got a goofy look on her face?
No, just that everyone didn't get well, not everyone didn't get a rose, but so many people didn't get a rose.
Yes.
It was intense.
I actually was really surprised that James didn't get a rose at that point, because the first time she talked to him, he talked her out of it. The second time, I felt like she was really believing in him at that moment, and that was going to be, but no, she still sent him home.
She even said, I didn't see what you guys saw when they were cheersing at the end.
Yeah.
That was very weird, because I don't think we've ever seen that side of the Bachelor or Bachelorette franchise.
No, where she said that, no.
And what about goodbye, Juan Pablo?
Adios.
It's same thing. There was no longevity.
Moment of silence for Juan.
I'm sorry.
Pablo.
He was doing so well, but Krisily, you said it was lust. I guess you're right.
Chris Harrison said, I think in his blog, she told him one of the first nights that she didn't care if he was a good or bad guy. She wanted to keep him around because he was hot.
And he had an accent, and girls are suckers for guys with accents.
It depends.
Really?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah, accents are good.
Yeah.
Depends
they
on what
think
kind of
accents
accent.
are sexy and mysterious.
Southern accents work well. Do we have any whiskey here?
That's
Red
awesome.
Stag,
Yeah.
bourbon.
Henceforth, why you did so
Anything.
well. Yeah, it's the Southern. I'm gonna have to work on that. I don't have a twang. So, any other surprises on who stayed, who left? No.
No.
All right. Yeah, it's pretty much said. We're down to 5, and
we're really down to 3. There's 5 left, but we're.
I felt
I
bad
agree.
for
I agree.
Casey. I did feel bad for Casey leaving, just because I felt like he did pour his heart out a little bit to her before he got let go, and he was like, I do care for you, and I don't know.
but he was also a person that complained about James, and
Yes, he did that in the very wrong way.
And she gave him a hug and walked away. She'd been making out with everyone else on the date.
Very telling. Very telling.
Yeah.
I was
Never a
surprised
good
she didn't
sign.
high five him. Cool,
Yeah.
thanks. I'm out. That was great. Good talk. Good talk. See you out there.
awesome.
It would have been a very passionate high five.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little butt
Okay.
pat on the way out. Good game.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good
okay.
game. See you out there.
Yes.
So, any final thoughts before we move on to any closing remarks on this episode?
The
Anything?
previews look good.
Oh, we're
my
gonna get into
God.
it. We got predictions.
Which I'm mad at all three of y'all for that, but it's good.
I think we hooked them.
Yeah,
We snared them in.
I'm in.
All right, so let's just move on. Actually, let's spend a few moments with Graham Bunn and find out what's going on in your world, man. I mean,
I would be honored.
yeah, no. So tell us everything that's happened since. I mean, you're involved in so many things, and it seems like about giving back.
Yeah, no, I definitely try to do as much as possible, and the clothing company that I run, 46 NYC, is just a charitable clothing line, and I figure, we all want to be successful in life, and we all have dreams, and it is right there on
Got
the
it up on the
screen.
back
Yeah,
screen.
I love that. We're doing something for Oklahoma right now, but I'm not Gandhi. Like I just figured in life, if I could do something and be successful at it, and also be successful while giving back to others. And that's part of the footprint of the company, is that it only succeeds when charitable acts happen or we help people. The company is only as good as the things that it does. So I think I've been very fortunate and very blessed, and I love doing what I do, and hopefully I'll be able to continue doing it. We've been doing it for about 8 years now, and
Oh, wow.
for clothing companies, that's a
Big
long
deal.
time. Yeah. So I'm very proud, and want to give a shout out to Hal Kivett and John McGinn, my two partners there. They work really hard, and yeah, it's good. It's good.
Now, is it every month you donate to a different cause, or is that how it works?
Yeah,
or?
well, this year we wanted to try something different, because after 7 years, you look at ways to reinvent, what you're doing, and you never want the company's mission or anything to get stale. And there are so many people doing so many wonderful things today, and shout out to the way entrepreneurship is being shaped, because moral capitalism right now, like if your products don't do something, I feel like they're going to be obsolete pretty soon. But we've been doing it for 8 years, so we were a little ahead of the curve.
Yeah,
I will take
sure.
credit on that. But yeah, so this year we decided, we used to have 6 core things. It was 6 different areas of need in kids, and that's where the number kind of played a factor. And this year we wanted to do something, 1 shirt, 1 month for 1 cause, and just put all of our marketing, promoting skills towards really making a difference for that cause in that month. And this past month was the victims. We've teamed up with Samaritan's Purse, based out of North Carolina, which we have a personal relationship with, and we wanted to do as much as we could for the victims in Oklahoma.
Are you
Yeah.
going to change it to 46 LA now?
No, I think it's going to be 46 Apparel very soon. So
Really?
yeah. So we've been very fortunate. I have relocated. I do not live in New York anymore. I live here, so I am LA now, which is great. It's very
Nice.
exciting. Yeah, thank
Welcome.
you. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome to AfterBuzz Studios, since you now live in the city.
I know, yeah, I feel bad though. I've been here a week, and already part of my bucket list is checked. I'm here, so we're good. Yeah, we're here.
Very well said. So now, where can they find it again with the website?
Oh, if they just go to 46nyc.com, all the information's there, and you can look at where your donation goes and what we've done in previous months. We do tangible gifts, we do money donations, and we do special events, and we do a lot of things. And actually, The Bachelor has been really good to us. We built an event in Central Park, New York, every year, and it's become like a big Bachelor thing, which is great. We had like 60 people from the show last year show up, and
Is that the lemonade?
yeah, it's Alex's Lemonade Stand. We do it in September. It's kind of a cool fan event too, because there's so many people from the show that come. We've been very, very blessed and very lucky, and we actually made the top 100 donor list 2 out of 3 years. So
That's awesome.
yeah, that's a multi-million-dollar charity, so that's a pretty big deal for us, and we're excited about it.
We always talk about on our show how great it is when people use their platform for good.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Well, again, I've been blessed, and actually to be able to do things like this or to be considered memorable, is great. So it just allows you to do or be who you are on a greater scale. So it's I'm lucky and humbled and flattered to get to hang out with you guys and talk about guys' mistakes and not my own for once.
Nice. Moving
Yeah.
on. So, and of course, you're still working on the jump shot, right?
Jump shot is fading fast, which I do have a
No.
fun fact. I did play pro basketball, and
Right.
at one point in time led the nation in 3-point shooting. But when they showed me on the show, the first shot we were there 8 weeks. I hadn't touched the ball, air ball. I was like, and you guys show that? The first shot I
course.
took for
Of course they show it.
8 weeks.
They've gotta.
A true athlete that is still stuck on your cross. It's still on
I
your
hate
side.
it. I can't. I go home and I'll go to the bar, and Raleigh's a small town, and someone will come, oh my God, yeah, you were on the show. Nice shot. Like, oh yeah, that was bad. I thought you played basketball, dude. I'm like, all right, yeah, it's terrible.
See, this is what dominates a man's mind. I'm telling you, missing the chase.
It does. It
I
does.
do have to mention too, Wet Paint released a picture of you as an extra in the OC way back when.
That
right
was
behind
Throwback
Rachel
Thursday.
Bilson,
I posted that just as fun. Yeah. When I lived out here, I broke my foot, and my college coach was at UCLA, so I moved out here to do my rehab before I went back to Germany. And to make extra money, he was like, dude, if you just go to Central Casting and like fill out a form, you can do extra work during the day and come to our
so
rehab
easy.
facilities. Yeah, no, it was cool. And I met a lot of fun people. Did the OC, Friends, that 70s show. Got to see a lot of cool stuff.
So were you
Joan of Arcadia. I was huge.
scenes with Rachel Bilson? Or
Yeah, well, there was a girl in there named Samir on the OC, and she was like so cool, Samir Armstrong, and she would always be like, "Oh, what's up, Graham?" And so she actually got me to come back a few times, so it was cool. The OC was great, and I actually saw Ryan Atwood in Hollywood the other day, and my girlfriend, who's amazing, started making fun of me relentlessly. She was like, "There's your guy. There's your guy." I was like,
That's awesome.
I wanted to go up and be like, "Dude, what's up? Let's be friends." But I was like, "Nah, we'll pass on that."
I start calling you Slash. You've done a little bit of everything. So
Yeah, I'm a weird dude.
I want to know about, did you enjoy watching last week's show since you were in Germany for so long and they were in Munich? Or did you not watch?
No, I watched some of it.
Okay.
Actually, I was right outside Dusseldorf, so I was in like a coal mining town. So if it was gorgeous, I would have been just insanely jealous because I didn't get to see a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
with that said, and I guess to add to your Slash now, After Buzzer. Welcome.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah.
So with that said, let us move on to some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV
I like reading it before she reads
I
it to you
see
because then I
that.
feel like I know something.
No. Okay.
Cathy Cupcake Kelley, what do you got for us today?
So our favorite couple, Sean and Catherine, went on a double date this weekend with Pandora Vanderpump and her husband, Jason. Sean and Catherine also met up with other Dancing with the Stars contestants, including Victor Ortiz and Allie Raisman, who we had in AfterBuzz on Friday.
That's right.
Yes.
You had a nice one-on-one with her, right?
Yeah, I did a one-on-one interview, and she's absolutely amazing. Talked about Sean and Catherine a little bit and her experience with Dancing with the Stars, so that was a lot of fun. But no news about me. More news about the Bachelor Nation. It's good to see that they're so close with everyone on Dancing with the Stars. It's been a couple months, and people have gone off to do their own thing, but they're still in touch.
Nice.
So, Des and several other girls from Sean's season actually got together this past weekend for Daniela McBride's 25th birthday. This includes Des, Selma, your favorite, was there.
You guys have been pinning on that on me since January.
You can't even talk.
Except Selma.
Sarah Heron, Leslie Murphy,
Selma's a
Leslie
cool girl.
Hughes, and Catherine were all in attendance. They partied at the Sky Bar at the Mondrian Hotel.
Nice.
Yeah. Then I want to ask a question. What age do you think kids should be allowed to drive?
As long as they can see over the dashboard, they can start learning.
Without sitting on their parents' lap? Because Emily Maynard took a picture of her letting little Ricky behind the wheel of her car this past week and posted it on Instagram with the caption, "A rite of passage on your 8th birthday."
She's got
That's very
NASCAR
normal
genes.
in North Carolina.
Yeah,
That's
I
very
know.
normal. My grandfather did the same when I was like 6.
I think
very
I
normal.
drove a tractor when I was like 4.
Yeah, that's normal.
How did her new dog not make news? Because she's posting the pictures of this little Maltese in dresses, and the captions are always like, "This dog has no idea who's her owner." Like, they're hysterical.
Oh.
Because I'm a dog lover, I had to just throw that out there. They may
Nice.
have the cutest puppy in the world.
Yeah. So it's no secret that every single season the producers pick some crazies to be contestants on the show, and don't put it Krisily.
I'm just saying, they do.
And they compete for the Bachelorette's heart. We talk about it every season, and Jason and Molly actually addressed it on their podcast, This Is Reality. They said that the producers could actually help couples succeed if they picked less crazy contestants. Go figure. Jason said, what makes the show go round is having 20 crazy guys or girls and 5 good ones. If they really wanted the show to work out better, they could alter that number just a little bit. He suggested picking 10 good picks and 15 crazies, as opposed to what it's leaning towards now, which is 5 good matches and 20 character crazy people.
That's a lot of math.
That is.
Yeah.
I've heard that
A lot
rumor,
of numbers.
though.
Yeah.
I've heard those exact numbers from other people.
What do you
though.
think
I
you were?
agree.
Were you one of the lucky 20%?
I think I was split down the middle because where they found me, they're like, that guy's nuts. We got to have
Where'd
him.
they find you?
Yeah.
I was in this is awful. I'm so sorry. I would like to preface this by saying that I
We
have
all
the
grow
best
up.
girlfriend in the world. So the story is horrible, but I was in, I had just lost someone in my family, and I was in the bar business, and I was a part owner of a bar. So you can kind of do whatever you want in that bar if you own part of it. And it was in New York. It was Valentine's Day. I had just kind of realized that I was single because I called the person I was dating, and they were like, oh, yeah, I have plans on Valentine's Day. I was like, well, that's not a good sign for me. So I was very intoxicated, and I'm pretty sure I had no shirt on. And when someone was like, you have got to come to this casting that we're doing. And I was like, I'm not going to any casting. Here's my phone number. And it was sort of like that. And then when I got there, I think they were very confused because I was a little bit on the shy and reserved, and I didn't really know what was happening or what was going on. And they were like, okay, we'll roll with it. So I think I might have been a character cast and then migrated into the, oh, maybe she'll like this guy. So who
Until
knows?
we get them liquored up.
Yeah. Well, no, if you watch my season there, and everyone used to joke to me about it, there's a bottle of Makers in my back pocket in every scene. My mom was like, listen, do you drink like this? And I was like, I don't, Mom, but there was no food, and I was hungry. I was so hungry. There's either a beer in my back pocket or something in my back pocket at all times. Rose ceremonies, people were like patting me down. I'm like, listen, it's not on my person. It's not on my person.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That is Bachelor inside info you can't get anywhere else. I
Yeah.
love that. Was fantastic.
Two more pieces of news and gossip. Chris Harrison, can't even talk, spoke to Entertainment Weekly and says this season gets very emotional. From here on out, these guys are laying it all on the line. We definitely have some Mesniks coming up. Ooh. I don't know if it's a full Mesnik, but we might have some pretty solid Mesniks coming up. I don't know exactly what that means.
They're going to change their minds.
Yeah, they might change their minds.
Ooh.
I can say that Chris Harrison is probably the coolest person to ever be on that show.
Really?
He's the man.
What about him makes him so awesome, aside from what we see?
Well, one, he's done this job, and he sees the, people make asses of themselves, and then people in their most vulnerable moments, and he always is cool, calm, and collective. I mean, some of the situations that he gets thrown into, and then he handles it like such a gentleman, and I've seen him out, and he's hilarious to talk to, and he'll reference the show and make jokes and stuff, but he is literally one of the most likable people you'll ever meet.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
He must be fun at parties. I can imagine he has a story for every situation.
I was at a party in Hollywood on Wednesday, and he was there, and literally I just tagged along with him. I was like, I'm sorry, bro. I just want to hear these conversations. And people will come up to him, the most random people in the world, and be like, I have to admit, I love the show. Can I ask you about this? And he is such a good sport about it. He'll tell a funny anecdote about it. He'll figure out a very polite way to get out of the conversation and leave. But he's never rude. He's got very great candor. He's the man.
That's
and he's
awesome.
just good people.
Yeah.
Like he just is. You can sit and talk to him about anything.
How many weddings has he officiated at this point? Like 3 or 4?
He didn't officiate.
What are you
over-
laughing about?
I'm sorry.
That's
William,
not
I'm
about
gonna
him
go
officiating.
William.
William is
William.
listening, by the
Yeah,
way.
William, you had beers definitely on your person at Rose Ceremonies on B-Pad. That is
Yeah.
true. That is true, William. That is
All
true.
right, guys, at the rate we're going, I mean, they're giving us the hook. We may need an after show,
This
but
is
what
the
do you got?
best. Well,
Okay,
I
give
don't
it to
know.
us.
It's just that there have been so many rumors starting about who is going to be the next Bachelor, especially after tonight's episode with James talking about it nonstop. The 2 rumors so far, Ari and Jeff Holm.
I'll believe it.
I don't
when
know if
see
either
it.
of them are true, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
They did that last
Reporting the
season with
news.
Roberto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roberto was actually in my apartment in New York when he was thinking about doing it, and used my phone to call the production people. I was like, that's probably not a good idea.
See, it's true though. It's true though. That wasn't a rumor, so I don't know.
Well, they
I
were
think-
interested. I don't know how far
I think
along
that
it was.
they're contenders. They might not make it, but
They're interested
never
in
know.
Ryan Lochte. They're interested in a lot. They
If
throw out
Ryan
a wide.
Lochte becomes a Bachelor, I will never watch again.
You heard it here first, folks. All right.
I can
since
almost guarantee
Ben's
they're not
going to be
gonna-
the
they're not gonna
Bachelor.
choose
Who are
Ryan
they going to
Lochte.
pick now?
Jeff Holm, Jeff Holm.
All right.
I
Well,
hope
let's
so.
save that maybe to predictions. Thanks for the news, Cathy.
Yes.
All right.
And now,
Since we possibly
your
hooked you
AfterBuzz TV.
to maybe come back, but in case we miss you next week,
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to take it all?
Well, I would have said after tonight, I would have said either Drew or Brooks, but looks like something's going to go down with Drew next week. So I don't know. But so you know, Drew or Brooks were my two guys that I thought that she was really like, okay, these are the two. But I don't know.
All right, Chris. No, we're gonna. Oh wait. Okay, fine. No, because I was gonna ask her something else. Basically, who goes home next week?
Oh, I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I feel like my final three is already picked.
Who?
And who are they?
Brooks, Chris, and Drew.
Yeah, those are my final three too.
The rest of them, I'm just so confused. But with tonight's previews, it actually looks like we may have like an interesting next couple episodes that are going to be like, what just happened?
And that's what people are alluding to who are involved in the show.
Let's do it.
All right. With that said, we had another wild episode tonight, so we're getting a wrap. Cathy, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelley. You can find me here at AfterBuzz doing a million shows, including chatting with Cathy. So tune in. We just had Allie Raisman on.
And Krisily, where can we find you?
You can find her in my neighborhood too, because we're neighbors. But you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Krisily.
Oh, the Brunette Bandits. And round of applause for Graham Bunn.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me.
And once again, Graham, tell us where they can find you. Let's say Twitter and your site as well.
Yeah, Graham Bunn is my Twitter handle. Graham Bunn is the Instagram. We keep it simple. But 46NYC is the most important thing. We're on Twitter and we're on Instagram. And definitely all the support that we can get from anybody would be well appreciated. Definitely want to make a difference to change the world.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And you can find me at JC Rubio TV on Instagram and Twitter. So for Graham, Krisily, Cathy, Steven, I'm JC, and we're in the Bachelor After Show. We'll see you next time.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.